Welcome back. Well, that was the hangout. Of course, I would be believing that agric is something that I should begin to consider outside broadcasting, perhaps when I retire from broadcasting. But that's how it went down there. But now, shifting our attentions back to the studio, we're being joined by Queen Baina, and she is a farmer. Queen, thanks for coming to the program.
Thank you for
First
having
of
me.
all, I think it's kind of weird. I mean, people would think it weird to have a female as a farmer. How do you feel?
Well, I feel good. One of the things that's actually interesting about being in agriculture is breaking the stereotype and dismissing a lot of myths that people have about farmers. A lot of people don't believe I look like a farmer, but hey, I'm doing it and I love it.
What are the benefits? Let's begin to talk about that.
I think the main thing for me, I'm a really sustainability freak. So anything sustaining, it's something that I'm into. And so when I thought about agriculture, I thought about the sustainability aspect of it. So how can we save our environments? How can we make people's lives a lot better? So there are lots and lots of benefits to going into agriculture, especially in where we find ourselves now in our society. So tons and tons of benefits.
Okay, now let me just go down now, talking about these benefits. In the past, Nigeria's economy used to be driven.
Oil-based.
Yeah, no, well, not oil-based, but agricultural-based. And then we now came to the oil boom, and then we forgot agriculture. But I mean, people like you are now making us, bringing back that consciousness that agriculture really has a lot of benefits, and it is beneficial. Do you see us going back full-time into agriculture in the nearest future?
Yes, I do. And actually, like, I'm really into Twitter and social media, and there's a lot of noise about agriculture. Lots of young people are going into agriculture, which is very inspiring because if you look at where we are right now, the average age for farmers is about 60.5. Those older population, they're retiring. So we need more younger people to go into agriculture. And so, yes, I do believe we're going back to a bio-based economy, which I think is the best for us at this point.
So technology also seems to be coming into agriculture because people will begin to think, where do you balance the two? Agriculture, which is more like a muddy thing, so to speak, and technology, which is a more, technology driven. People will begin to wonder, how do you bridge that gap, that balance? How do you merge them, for the benefit? Because society is technology driven now, and everything is moving technological. How do you co-opt agriculture into technology into agriculture? You just made mention of one, using Twitter to sell the product.
I think, especially, I would like to say, first of all, that bridging that gap between technology and agriculture is very important, especially if we're trying to get more young people interested in agriculture. I know my partner was saying it's very difficult to find young people who are interested in agriculture, children who, if you ask them if they want to be a farmer, they will be happy to say, I want to be a farmer. So we have to, technology is something that can help us bridge that gap. It'll help us improve our policies. And so young people, I have my niece, she's about 2 years old. She's a pro on the iPad and every kind of technology. So starting from where they're young, we can develop apps that get people more interested. It's informative. And so children can learn about agriculture as young people. We don't have to wait until people are 18, 19 to start getting them interested in agriculture. So it's responsibility for parents, for our government, society in general, to, how do I put it?
Are you advocating for it to be put in the school or education curriculum?
Of course. When I was in secondary school, we actually had the Young Farmers Club. I don't think that is existent at this point. I think that's...
In Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay, where?
I went to secondary school in Calabar.
Okay, great.
So between Lagos and Calabar, so I switched schools quite a bit because my family moved a lot, and so I had to move quite a bit.
There,
yeah.
Oh, so I mean, you were talking about breaking stereotypes because I was like, oh, you're a lady, and then how do you feel? So what was it, apart from being in the Farmers Club back in primary or secondary school, what would you be telling people like you who would want to go into agriculture but then don't see that thing, that stuff in agriculture that tickles their fancy or tickles their consciousness to go into agriculture because of the benefits that you say lies therein?
I think it's very important for people who are already in agriculture to actually speak up about how lucrative it can be and how beneficial it is, not just for the individuals, but for society as a whole. I did not always want to be a farmer. Actually, I was very interested in medicine, and I'm actually still hoping to be a medical doctor and still farm at the same time. But for me, like I said in the beginning, it's more about the sustainability aspects of our society. Everybody's talking about SDGs and climate change and all that good and bad stuff. So it's just how I, as an individual, can contribute to my society and to my community in general. And I think it's just letting people know that it doesn't matter who you are or where you live, you can actually contribute positively. And you can do that through agriculture. And it's important to break the myth that people think agriculture is just an occupation for poor people, because it's really not. I know very rich, successful farmers, and I really hope to be one of those. But so, I mean, lots of good stuff with agriculture.
Okay. One key thing in going into agriculture is investment, drive, capital, thereabout. People might, finish school, they might want to go into it, but they don't have the funds to invest, in starting a farm. What would you be advising? I mean, because already we have banks in Nigeria, Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, the CBN is actually trying to do something. I think even commercial banks, but sometimes these funds just never come. People don't even know about some of these plans and these options that they have. What would you be advising them to do?
I think it's very important for people to actually just read. I don't think we as a generation today, I don't think we read a lot. There are so many resources available out there, and a lot of them are free, and people don't know because they don't read. That's what I believe. So if just Google, there are lots of grants, especially. I think a lot of people are very hesitant to go into agriculture because there are loans. People are put off by loans, but there are many grants available to new starters, and I mean, I don't know if I can mention some, but they're very good loans and grants, especially available to young farmers as well. And I think this is actually where the government should come in. If we're looking to diversify our economy, if we're looking to move from the diesel and fuel aspect of our economy to a more bio-based economy, I think the government has to put policies that actually favor small-scale farmers. I say small-scale because small scale helps us improve our employment opportunities. So the government actually has more parts to play in what we're talking about here.
All right. Well, we have to leave this discussion here and hope to see you become a rich and successful farmer in the nearest future.
You should farm. Everybody should farm.
I'll think about it later on. But Queen Boehner, thanks for coming on the program this afternoon and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
Well, that's where we are. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll look at your tweets as well as your messages. But then we'll also look at the most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in the past week. Please stay with us.
Because it was going to be me, Kesh, and Olamide. We're going to.
In fifth position on this week's most viewed videos is YBNL artist Adekunle Gold, praising fellow artist Olamide for standing up for one of them.
You just cheered him up, and then Olamide got on stage and said whatever he said. But to be honest, I just took it that he stood up for one of us. That's all.
In fourth, the video of the Bring Back Our Girls group staging a protest over the inability of the Buhari administration to rescue the missing girls 7 months after taking over power. The video of the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, saying there are two versions of the 2016 appropriation bill, one submitted by President Muhammadu Buhari and the other distributed by the President's Special Advisor on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enang. This video takes the third spot.
Our finding is that the Senator Ita Enang, the SSA, to the President on NAS matters, printed copies of the 2016 appropriation bill and brought to the Senate. We have discovered that what he brought is different from the version presented by Mr. President. We have resolved to consider only the version presented by Mr. President as soon as we received soft copy of the original document from the executive.
The responses to perceived national interest.
Coming in second is the decision by the Nigerian army to establish new divisions to aid the fight against insurgency in the country. And topping the charts is the report clarifying details of Channels Television's original Twitter handle after a fraudster mirrored the account and was sending tweets that are totally against the ideology of the multiple award-winning television station.
Those are your tweets as well as the videos that you watched the most in the past week. However, more countries of the world are discovering oil, and so oil's demand is falling with its prices. But Nigeria and Nigerians have options to choose from, be it agribusiness, that's business of agriculture, as a crop and plant farmer, or as a livestock farmer rearing animals for commercial purposes. Either of this can be done with modern agricultural tools and implements in large and profitable scale. Poultry business or fish farming also can be explored to satisfy the growing population of Nigeria, boost the economy, create jobs, and also smile to the bank. But that's the program this week. Thank you for watching. I am Victor Matthias, but do remember this conversation continues on the social media addresses showing on your screen. Goodbye.